Hello, my name is Dylan Hamilton. This is my assignment for GAM218. Um, I've added a bit more to this project I've been working on. Um, as you can see, I've added quite a bit, like fences around the property. I've added some aesthetics, as well as a pool in the backyard that we'll get into later. Also been a new thing added, the basement area, which is right underneath the map, has some stuff in it that has been added on. For this, I've also added quite a few new features. Um, some having to do with the timeline nodes, others having to do with flow controls such as gates, flip flop switches, and all that. I've also added security cameras all around the property that can be accessed through this little monitor right here. Also added a new monitor across here that the player can access. And what it'll do is it'll access this little character right here. But let's get into the actual play testing of it. So as you can see, it runs normally. All that. I've added this little door right here. So a sliding door that you move up to it, it goes back and forth. Also added a back door. Grab this key. So with these security cameras, if we come up here, we can actually access like a camera that'll show us the monitors up close, so we can get that view. We can press E, and it'll quickly access or get out of those security cameras. What we can also do is, instead of pressing E, I could just move out because the player still has control in this area. So, there's just a way to work around disabling the controls instead of doing that, just getting out of the camera when the player moves out. I've also added to this puzzle right here. Oh. So in this one, not only does it just say, work on the kids' rooms, it also says work on the basement. So we go here, do the same thing. Go and clean, push these boxes. Oh, come on. We can also come down here, because it said to go clean the basement as well. Go right here, try to access this door. It'll say that it's jammed. If I press E again, it'll then say that kids left a robot in the basement. Press E one more time, and then it'll tell you that there's a controller in the room. So you go up, come over here, press C on it, and then you take control of this little robot in the basement area I showed earlier. Not much in here right now, just another key to the puzzle. So if we go push this, we'll activate that cutscene. Oh, hello. And then we press E one more time, it goes back to the character. And then we can, finish off the puzzle by opening the door. Still nothing new added to that just yet, but moving along, we also have I changed one of the previous features that I've been having a part of this project for a while, which was a chair that would fly up if you entered the trigger box. It used to be right here, but I changed that up a little bit since I wasn't working on it or changed anything within the last project. And the final feature I've added are these little rocks right here, where if you move in, it'll kind of make the rocks go up a bit more, revealing more on the ground. However, if you go into the trigger box one more time, it changes the static meshes to the bushes. Now, getting into the overall, like, why I did these, or how I did these, where for these ones I used the timeline nodes for these rocks. Use the timeline nodes to make them move up, and then use the a flip flop to make them change to static meshes. Similarly with this one, the chair I used a timeline node. Same with this. Instead of using a actor sequence or level sequence. For this text actor right here, I used a multi-gate to go through all of the different text to kind of give the player a idea of what they're supposed to do next. As for this one right here, I did the normal setting up 4 cameras, and it'll switch through all of them. But I've also added this little camera. Let me see if I open it up here. Where I've added a flip-flop that'll, when you press E, it'll transfer the set view target with blend back and forth between the actual camera and the player camera. So just to kind of have that feature so you can actually like have an full access of the camera, so it's not harder to see. But I wanted, like, having this camera put like that. As I mentioned, it's so because if you just like were to stand right here, you can hardly see the cameras flipping through, and just kind of give it a bit more polish, and having the player be able to access the camera up close and see what's going on. Well, looking through the security cameras that you would have throughout a home. As for these little rocks right here, it's just another thing to have, like a silly occurrence. As previously mentioned, this project I've notoriously put a lot of like silly random things throughout of it. So having rocks just randomly just come out of the ground and then change to bushes, just because. As for this, I wanted to change it up a bit because I haven't really messed with it. I haven't fixed it at all. I just left it in there. So I wanted to use this project as a means to actually do something with this chair, or at least do something a different way than what I had it. So I used the blueprint node in order to do that. It was quite hard to figure it out because I had to work with the origin point that this made me realize how important that is, because I was having issues with the origin point being like right up here, and just the chair would just spawn right there instead of spawning down there. So that's what made me realize just how a little bit more annoying the timeline node can be when working with it. Similarly with these ones, these rocks, I had to make an actor instead of just putting in a rock or bush static mesh. As for, let me see. Oh yeah, this one right here, using a another timeline node just to have a sliding door. I didn't want it to have a normal door as all the other rooms did, because it's supposed to act like a closet. So just having a sliding door would have made it a little bit more easier to traverse throughout the level, or like this part of the level going in and out. Let me see if I can open the blueprint. Yeah, using the node and making a vector instead of going through the sequencer and having that. One more thing. Oh, yes, the toy robot. So I wanted to have the toy robot be a part of the puzzle, since it's kind of a means of, instead of easily having the puzzle solvable by going into these two rooms and pushing the boxes, it adds an extra step into that. So I made the basement level and had it to where you can't access that basement directly, but instead you had to control a robot. And it would make more sense for it to be owned by the children, so I put the console in the children's room so that you go and access it and have the player go through and finish off the puzzle that you would open the door with. But yeah, that is all that I've added to this project for now. I would like to thank you for watching and have a nice day.